Hi guys, I'm gonna try to record some video out here on my porch this morning because it's a beautiful day. But while my laptop is booting up, oh sorry, there's a potty chair in the yard, but where else can you, look at this. I got a horse in my front yard, you all. Got a horse in my front yard. She's behind all my stuff here. Ouch. I haven't had a chance to share her with you because of all the things going on, but here she is, standing in my front yard, cutting my grass because I can't do it right now. I'm just too tired. I'm gonna really go into why she's here, and maybe I'll do that today. There's so many things that I've been recording on my phone, and to try and catch up on some things. I just haven't uploaded it yet because there's a lot going on right now. But anyway, her name's Gloria, and she is not directly off-track standardbred, but she has been on the track. Won some stuff, I guess. It don't matter to me. She's an ex-Amish buggy horse, because I just wanted to gin around here on the up and down the road if I can get a buggy for her. Got me a little harness here. Harness in this box. I gotta oil it though. That leather is dry. Ooh, it's dry. Of course, it's sunny out today. I might get to that if I get a chance to get out there and oil it up. But anyway, this is Gloria standing in my yard, eating my grass. She's been up there on the hill for about a month. And yeah, you know what? I might just tell you while I'm standing here. My laptop it says threats detected. Okay, so it looks like well, praise the Lord anyway for antivirus software. So I'm just gonna tell you the story why she's even here. I'll turn my chair around though. Look at Tracy, get with it. Okay, you all. We went out to a nursing home about a month ago. It was on a Saturday. And I've wanted a horse, I've had horses for a long time. Probably not quite 40 years. I'm only 50. I got my first one that I've had, when I was 11. And I don't still have it now, but that's when I started all this, back in 1984. And anyway, I'd had horses all those years, and had some good show horses, and had some different riding lessons, and a little business, and all this stuff. And then all that died out, literally died out, around 2005. I had a show horse, and he was a 2-time world grand champion, park performance horse. He's a Tennessee walking horse. And I'd traded several horses, brood mares and things, and a whole bunch of cash, and bought this one show horse. And he'd won all that stuff, and every weekend we'd go somewhere and do something big. Big shows too, not these little tiny things, but big shows. Big trainers and stuff, I'm beating them. And anyway, I'd had him sold. We took him down to the trainer show in Shelbyville, Tennessee, and we had a buyer. And I had him with a trainer down in Mount Orab, Ohio. And anyway, the guy had him sold, but the guy wanted to ride him back home, up in Ohio. Because, they do tricks and things to him when they're out. So anyway, the guy said, yeah, I'll buy him, but I want to buy him in Ohio. So on the way home, the horse broke his leg in the trailer. Broke his leg in the horse trailer. And it was around the same time that Barbaro horse broke his leg at the Kentucky Derby or the Preakness or whatever that was. And it was the same injury. It was I don't know if you can see right here on her leg, but this back, what we call the hock, it's like the back elbow, right? And then that pastern area, this second joint, what's really the first joint from the bottom. So between this hock point, this long bone right there, he busted into the partition in the trailer and broke both of those bones. It was just holding on by skin. And anyway, we had to put him down. So all of that, all the investment that I had in him and all those things, he's gone. One fell swoop, right? Isn't that what they say? So anyway, it took the wind out of my sails as far as having horses and being in a business and showing and stuff. I mean, I had a horse. She stayed around. I think she was 28 when she died, and that was just a few years ago. And then I recently, her daughter passed away, died. We had to put her down a week before we got Gloria. So it was just about a month ago, 5 weeks, 6 weeks ago maybe. Anyway, we had to put Precious down because she's just old. You know, she was 23, and not really that that's old, but anyway. So I was a week, literally 1 week, without any kind of possession of a horse, or in attachments to in any way to a horse. So anyway, that Saturday, Precious died on Monday, and that Saturday we went down to a nursing home, and we were doing our little fellowship and ministering down there with the people, and had some singers and preachers and all that, and it was some folks that I was very well acquainted with. And there was a couple children there. Children that I know pretty well, I guess. And it's a little girl about 10 years old, her brother about 12 maybe. And in my life now, as I've been walking with Christ, I see things. I see things that nobody else can see. And I hear things that nobody else can hear, and I understand with an understanding that nobody else can really understand around me. I mean, you guys probably do, but the average person that I'm standing next to physically don't really understand me at all. But I had this, I wasn't trying to listen because we were all standing in a group in the parking lot. And the little girl was talking to her family, and she says, "Don't forget to go by the pharmacy and pick up my crazy pills." And it just broke my heart. Because I was on all those psych meds for 15 years, and they didn't do me any good. They made me crazier, and they destroyed my body. Those all pharmacia, all medication, it clogs up our filtration systems, which is our liver and our kidneys. I mean, read right on the package insert. It says, may cause damage to the liver and the kidneys, whatever it's going to filter through. So anyway, this little girl who's, 8 or 10 years old, however old she is, young, too young to be on any kind of quote unquote crazy pills. I was so grieved that day. I couldn't shout right there. I couldn't shout to the Lord, but I did in my mind. And when I got time later on that day, I went right to the throne room. I went right to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and I said, "Lord, how can this be with these children? How can it be with these children? How can I help them? What can I do to get them away from that cycle, to get them out of that funk, to at least redirect their minds, to focus on something else other than what the TV says, what the doctor says, what the school says, what anybody else says that's of the world? What can I do, Lord? I have no skills, I have no money, I have nothing that's valuable in this world. What can I do?" I said, "Lord, once upon a time back in the day, 15 or 20 years ago, whatever it was, 15 years ago, I had I had a riding lesson where I had all kinds of children. I did riding lessons and showing and all those things with the horses. I said, Lord, I wasted that. I wasted all that. I never led anybody to Christ when I had the opportunity. And I said, Lord, if you bring me a horse, I'll do it different this time. I'll do it different this time. If you give me the opportunity to do it. And that was Saturday. And we didn't have church Sunday night. And I just got to fooling around on the Facebook marketplace and some groups that I'm in. And I saw this horse in a little town about an hour and a half away. I don't have a truck and trailer. I don't have anything, but I was just tinkering around. I asked them how much they wanted for, and they didn't answer me till Monday. And I had all kinds of errands to run that Monday. I had so much to do. And the guy says, such and such money. When are you coming? And I said, well, I don't even have a truck and trailer. I don't have any way to get there, and I got too much to do today. I'll have to come another time. He said, well, you can make an offer. And I said, well, I don't have any way to get there. And he said, well, I can bring her. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just go out and look at her. In the meantime, that was Monday morning. In the meantime, I reached out to a friend that did have a truck and trailer. And she said, yeah, I can go out and transport the horse for you, but I can only do it on Mondays and Fridays. And this was Monday morning, about 9 o'clock. And I said, well, is it too late to let us go this morning? And she said, well, just give me a few minutes and I'll be over. Well, in the meantime, another friend stopped by because she borrowed a cage to transport some chickens because she's into the chicken business like me. And she stood right there at that gate. We were talking about chickens. And she looked up my hollow where my chickens are. And she says, my daughter really wants a horse. And I just knew that the Spirit gave her utterance to confirm where I was going that day. Like it was really supposed to be that way. So anyway, my friend come and got me. We went and looked at this horse. What's funny is they're telling me about her, this Amish guy telling me about her. And she's got her little tattoo and stuff, and they call her Gloria. And that was my husband's mom's name, my mother-in-law's name. It's Gloria. So, sorry you all. So I thought, well, that's a sign. That's a sign that I need to bring her home. So we did. We brought her home. We put her up there on that hill. She's ate all kinds of grass. I opened up that side to her, and she's ate all that down. She's doing a real good job. And then it come around to some conflicts here. You know, the horse really wasn't welcome. And I thought, well, I'm just going to sell her then. That was about 2 weeks ago. And I put her back on the marketplace on the Facebook and some of them groups. And this lady, she does standardbred rescue. Because, standardbreds are like greyhounds. Greyhound dogs, they run their life, they do their thing, and then they're cast out. Greyhound dogs are destroyed. They euthanize them pretty quick when they stop winning money. The standardbreds are a little bit harder to go, but they end up at the auction houses and the slaughterhouses. Every once in a while, I don't know how often, once every month or so, they'll open up the slaughterhouse auctions or the slaughterhouses, and Then all the auctions, they buy a bunch of horses. You know, the horses pass through there to go to slaughter. Down in Mexico and I think Canada maybe. Anyway, this standardbred rescue woman, she asked what the number was on her tattoo. So I gave it to her. And you're not going to believe this. They call this horse Gloria. And it's a female. It's a female horse named Gloria. But when I get the registration name, the Standardbred Trotters Association registration name, its name is All-American Abba. A-B-B-A, Abba. And the only thing I could think of was Abba Father. The Abba Father sent her to me. I believe it. I believe it. I mean, nobody really names horses the opposite of what they are. But that's her name, All-American Abba. And I truly believe that the Abba Father sent her to me. And it gets deep, a little bit deeper than that, at least on a personal note for me to like the final little hook. And you might not really understand this, but I'm going to say it anyway for the recording. But all through my show career, you know, when we were in the show ring and we put little numbers on the back of our jacket, you know, when we're riding, you know, they're an entry number. So the judge can identify by the number who he likes, and he can write it on his little sheet, and then, you know, they place first, second, third, fourth, whatever. And my number from all the way back into when I showed in 4-H as a little kid, as a young person, was number 75. 75 was my number, and I had it, you know, when I could choose a number. You know, sometimes they're given to us, but when I could choose my own number, I don't know why that number became my number, but it's like I had a lot of luck with it. I won a lot for some reason with it, and all throughout. So then I get here, and this horse, All-American Abba, is my horse now. And I think that the Abba Father, sent her to me. So I go out and just look at the Strong's number for Abba. And you know what it is? It's G5. Well, G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. G5 is Abba. 75 is the equivalent in numbers. And 75 was my show number that I did so well with for decades. Now that's just too many coincidences for me. Too many coincidences to assume or presume that this is any other thing but the Lord's hand on it. Now I don't want to get too mystical, but that's pretty profound. So, Gloria's going to stay a while. I've got to fatten her up a little bit. They said she had a colt. Well, it was a filly. Had a baby in March, you know, a few weeks before she came here. So she was kind of poor, but it died. See, that's the thing, it died. We don't know why. So anyway, she's kind of ribby and kind of thin, but standardbreds are anyway. They're, you know, athletic breeds, so they don't carry a lot of weight and a lot of, you know, fat on them like another type of horse. But she's looking better. She's shiny and she's looking better. She acts like she feels better. But anyway, that's the horse. That's the story of the horse and the reason why she's here. And I think God sent her, and I don't know why yet. So I'm going to get this laptop going here and maybe record some more teaching videos or some thoughts that I've had about different things. And I hope you all have a blessed day in Jesus' name.